You could have anything you want. The universe is super giving. You want a Ferrari, you can have it. You want that girl, you can have her. There's nothing I can't have because I decided to become the man who gets everything. And you can too if you'd stop lying to yourself. Let's start with the truth no one wants to say out loud. You are exactly where you deserve to be. Not because of fate, not because of bad luck, but because you built this reality with your thoughts and didn't even realize you were doing it. Every second you're awake and every second you're asleep, you're creating your future in the mind. The problem is most of you are too distracted, too weak, and too emotionally attached to misery to notice it. You are the architect of your own prison. You've already been manifesting, but instead of manifesting power, you've been manifesting mediocrity. You think thoughts of doubt, fear, procrastination, and what do you get back? More of it. Every time you say, I'll never be rich, the universe doesn't argue, it listens. Every time you say, I'm tired, I'll start tomorrow, the universe shrugs and says, fine, loser. You're getting exactly what you ask for, exactly what you focus on, exactly what your subconscious mind believes is true. If you believe you're destined to struggle, you will. If you believe you're not good enough, you're right. If you believe that someday, somehow, maybe you'll get your shot, it'll always be someday. But the moment you decide, truly decide, that what you see in your mind is more real than the limitations of your present environment, everything begins to change. You start aligning with a different frequency. You walk differently. You think faster. You cut out the noise. You speak less and move more. You stop reacting to life and start building it. Most of you think manifestation is some dream board, vision bubble, candle burning nonsense. It's not. It's violent. It's focused. It's relentless repetition of a mental image so powerful that the physical world is forced to submit. The truth is, your current reality is a reflection of your dominant thoughts, not your potential. Just because you're broke now doesn't mean you're meant to be. But if you keep identifying as a man who's trying to make it, you'll never become the one who already has. That's the catch. Your mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. So if you walk like you're rich, move like you're chosen, speak like you're already victorious, and train like you're sculpting a warrior, the world will eventually bow to what you've built in the dark. You have to develop a relationship with your mind so intimate, so unbreakable, that it starts working for you even when you sleep. You think the elite became great by chance? No. They visualized every step, every victory, every dollar, and every enemy falling at their feet. Long before it happened, the game was won internally. That Ferrari, already driven in their mind, that mansion already lived in, that body, already trained for, the mind was programmed for dominance, and the body followed. The reason you haven't made it yet isn't because of external circumstances. It's because you haven't become the man worthy of the life you want. You haven't adopted the identity that aligns with your dream. You want millions, but think like a man who fears rent. You want respect, but carry yourself like someone who hasn't earned it. You want freedom, but obey every doubt that enters your brain. This isn't manifestation. This is self-sabotage in disguise. The difference between winners and everyone else is not just action, it's internal programming. While most of you are crying for signs and hoping for opportunity, men like me are engraving the image of success so deep into our subconscious that the world has no option but to comply. When I say I'm going to win, I already have. When I say I'm going to be rich, I already am. My energy doesn't negotiate. I've made myself impossible to ignore, not because I'm loud, but because my self-belief is louder than your entire life philosophy. People say, well, what if I fail? You've already failed by asking that. The man who truly believes in his vision doesn't ask what if. He knows. He feels it in his bones. He's already seen the end game. He's already lived it. The body just has to catch up. Manifestation is not about wishing. It's about knowing. It's not about hoping. It's about becoming. You don't manifest by looking at the stars and waiting. You manifest by deciding that what you imagine is more true than what currently exists, and then refusing to accept anything less. So here's the truth. If you want to manifest your dreams, you must first kill the version of yourself, the doubts. There is no room for half belief. There is no space for hesitation. Manifestation is not soft. It's not spiritual fluff. It's war. You either dominate your mind or your mind will bury you in mediocrity for the rest of your life. Every second you hesitate, someone else is manifesting harder, clearer, and more ruthlessly than you, and he's going to take everything you ever wanted. If you truly understood how powerful your mind is, you'd be afraid of even one negative thought. You'd protect your focus like it's sacred, because it is. The mind is the soil. The thoughts are the seeds. You plant weakness, you grow defeat. You plant power, and you grow a reality you never believed was possible until it becomes undeniable. So get this through your skull. You're not waiting for the world to give you your dream life. You're waiting to finally become the man who's already living it in his head every single day until the universe has no choice but to bow down and deliver. There's a secret I've never really explained properly because most people don't deserve it. But I'll say it here clearly for those who are actually ready to understand. I've lived 2 lives, and that's why I win. That's why I look around and see people scrambling, struggling, suffering, while I operate on a completely different level. You think it's about money, you think it's about genetics, you think it's about talent or luck. You're wrong. It's about internal experience. It's about what's already happened inside the mind before the body ever moved. It's about living an entire lifetime in here before the first step was ever taken. Most of you have only lived one life, the physical one. You wake up, brush your teeth, scroll through nonsense, react to the world, and repeat the cycle like a machine. You've never once crafted a second reality inside your head, so vivid, so real, that it started to override the outside world. That's why you're stuck. You're imprisoned by your environment. You wait for things to change out here when the real game is being played inside. The real war is won in silence, before a single word is spoken or a single action is taken. You're not broke because you don't have money. You're broke because you've never imagined a version of yourself that deserves more. Because when I tell people I've trained twice as much as them, I don't mean I spent double the hours in the gym. I mean, I've already trained in my mind. I've gone through the entire workout before I even pick up the first weight. I've seen myself succeed so many times mentally that when I do it physically, it feels like deja vu. It's effortless, it's natural. The world calls that confidence. I call it preparation in the subconscious realm. That's where real power is built. That's manifestation. Not this weak, wishy-washy, speak it into existence trend you see online. I'm talking about building an empire in your mind, brick by brick, with such intensity that you start waking up with war in your chest, ready to claim what's already yours. Have to become so obsessed with the vision of your future self that you begin to merge with it. You walk differently because you already know who you are. You don't need approval, you don't need permission, you don't need results to confirm it. You've already lived it mentally so many times that it's more real than the air you breathe. That's how you separate yourself from the average. That's how you go from dreaming about success to walking straight into it. You stop identifying with the man who wants the life and you start embodying the man who already lives it in the mind. People don't get it. They say you're delusional, but what they don't understand is that delusion is power when it's backed by certainty. You want to change your life? Become delusional. Not weak, aimless fantasy. No, ruthless, detailed, unshakable inner construction. Decide who you are. See it, breathe it, walk in it so powerfully that people think you've lost your mind. You haven't lost anything. You just found the gateway to everything. The world is a mirror. It doesn't respond to begging. It doesn't respond to doubt. It responds to belief so powerful that it distorts reality to match it. You think you'll get what you want when you figure it all out? No, you'll get it when you become the man who already owns it in his head. The future isn't something you wait for. It's something you build internally first. I remember being broke. I remember not having anything, but I also remember not feeling like it. Because in my mind, I was already rich. In my imagination, I already had every car, every jet, every woman, every empire. And I carried that image like armor. I carried it like truth. I didn't need reality to approve. It was already mine. That's the trick. That's the gateway. You don't have to wait for validation from this world. Create it so vividly in your internal reality that you start forgetting which parts haven't happened yet. The brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and experience. That's the advantage no one uses. They keep waiting to feel like the man they want to be, not realizing that feeling comes when you decide to live that second life with obsession. When the mind submits, the world follows. I walk into every room like I own it. Because in my head, I already did. That's not arrogance. That's clarity. That's mental programming. That's what happens when you live an entire life inside your head and program your subconscious to work for you, not against you. Most of you are slaves to your mind. I turned mine into a soldier, and I gave it orders. And now it builds my empire before I wake up. While you're debating whether or not you're worthy, my mind is executing visions I decided on 5 years ago. So here's what I'll tell you. Stop living only in the physical world. Stop reacting. Stop being passive. Start building the second life. Get obsessed with your vision. Craft it in your mind until the line between imagination and reality starts to blur. That's how you manifest. That's how you dominate. That's how you become what you want. Not by chance, not by hope, but by living the future first, inside with zero compromise. You do that, and the world won't have a choice but to catch up. That's the law. That's power. That's how I win. And it's how you will too, if you truly believe it. You want to manifest your dreams? Then you have to understand something deeper than mindset. You have to understand frequency. You have to understand energy. The universe doesn't respond to what you say you want. It responds to what you are. And what you are vibrationally, energetically, emotionally is what you continue to attract over and over again. You can pretend to want success, but if your energy is soaked in fear, hesitation, and unworthiness, the universe reads that like a signal. You don't attract what you fantasize about, you attract what you're tuned into. People say it's pseudoscience, but deep down they know I'm right. They walk into a room and feel invisible because they're vibrating like ghosts. I walk into a room and people turn their heads without knowing why, because my frequency commands attention. My energy speaks before my mouth does. That's not ego, that's alignment. That's manifestation in real time. And the second you learn to control your internal state, your vibe, your aura, your emotional temperature, you start bending reality without saying a word. There's a reason I don't absorb weak energy. I don't entertain losers. I don't listen to nonsense. Because every second you let low-level energy infect you, you're diluting your power. The world is an exchange. Every interaction is a trade. Every conversation, every social media scroll, every distraction, you're either gaining strength or giving it away. Most of your energy bankrupt because you give your power to things that drain you. Gossip, anxiety, envy, comparison, it's all theft. And the price you pay is your manifestation being delayed, denied, or destroyed before it ever had a chance. You think manifestation is vision boards and affirmations? No, it's deeper than that. It's about living at a higher frequency every single day, so consistently that the universe has no choice but to start rearranging the external to match the intensity of your internal. If you're feeling broke but thinking about wealth, you're out of alignment. If you're saying I'm strong but moving like a victim, you're creating friction. The signal you send is scrambled, and a scrambled signal doesn't get answered. You need to become the man whose very presence changes the atmosphere. When you walk in, people should feel something, not because of your clothes or your watch or your Instagram, but because your frequency is so disciplined, so focused, so undiluted that it's impossible to ignore. That's what manifestation requires, that level of inner clarity, that level of emotional intensity, that level of energetic dominance. When Rihanna stands on a stage and millions scream her name, she doesn't age, she doesn't weaken, she absorbs it. You think that's coincidence? Energy flows to those who know how to hold it. Power moves toward those who don't leak it. Most of you can't hold energy because you're too busy chasing approval. You want people to like you. You want validation. You can't manifest anything if your power leaks out through insecurity. You must seal your energy. You must become full. Only then can you draw more in. Only then can you attract what belongs to your highest self. You need to move like someone who's already vibrating at the level of the life they want. That's the cheat code. You don't wait until you're rich to feel abundance. You start feeling it now. You don't wait until you're respected to walk with presence. You walk with it now. You don't wait for the world to clap before you rise. You rise first and then the applause follows. That's how I've always lived. That's why I always win. Because I mastered what can't be seen, and everything that can be seen eventually submitted. The truth is, the invisible creates the visible, the formless creates the form, the energetic creates the material. Your life is the result of the signals you've been sending out without even realizing it. So stop blaming circumstances, stop pointing fingers, stop acting like a victim of your surroundings when you're actually the transmitter, you're the signal tower. You've just been vibrating at a frequency that attracts failure, rejection, and stagnation. Tune yourself differently and watch how fast the world shifts. You don't need to beg. You don't need to wait. You don't need to explain. You need to elevate. Elevate your energy. Elevate your speech. Elevate your walk, your habits, your expectations. And you do it without needing proof, because the proof is already alive inside you. That internal state, that alignment with your future is the manifestation. The outer world is just catching up. And when it does, it'll feel like magic to others. But to you, it'll just feel like home. Because you've already lived it, you've already tuned into it, you've already become it. This is the part they never teach you in school. This is the code they try to keep hidden. Manifestation is real, but only for the man disciplined enough to command his internal world like a general. The man who understands that his frequency is his future. The man who realizes that success is a vibration before it's a bank balance. The man who knows that energy is more valuable than time, more precious than talent, and more real than anything you can see. I'll say it once and I'll say it with force. Change your frequency and you change your life. Tune into what you want with obsession, with precision, with hunger, and don't flinch. Don't apologize. Don't break alignment for anyone. Your dream already exists. Your future already exists. But it's sitting at a vibration you haven't stepped into yet. So rise, adjust, lock in, and don't stop until your external reality mirrors the internal empire you've already built. Your greatest ally is your mind, and your greatest threat is also your mind. The difference is how you train it. Every man is living inside a machine that either builds empires or destroys them. You don't lose in the world, you lose in your thoughts. You don't fail in life, you fail the second you accept weakness inside your own skull. You want to manifest your dreams? Then understand this. The war is internal before it's ever external. And most of you are getting slaughtered before you even step out of bed. You've been hypnotizing yourself since you were a child, but you've been doing it wrong. You repeat garbage like, I'm not good enough, I can't change, I'll start tomorrow. Those are mantras. That's self-hypnosis. And you do it on loop like some broken record of defeat. Then you look around, confused why your life reflects your insecurities. It's because your subconscious doesn't care about truth, it cares about repetition. What you repeat, you believe. What you believe, you become. And what you become, the world reflects right back at you. Do you think saying I am powerful is silly? Then you've already lost. Because there's someone else saying it 10 times a day with full belief, and his reality is shifting while yours stays stuck. That's the thing. This isn't about positivity. This is about precision. Speak like the man you're becoming, not the man you're trying to escape. Program your mind to expect greatness, not hope for it, not wish for it, expect it. Because when you expect it, your actions align. Your focus sharpens. Your excuses die, and your energy starts matching the man you're building internally. The words you speak are the tools you use to shape the walls of your future. Every time you open your mouth and declare who you are, your subconscious takes notes. I'm tired, noted. I can't catch a break, noted. One day I'll get there, noted. And the world obeys. You want to manifest wealth, power, freedom? Then stop speaking like you're unsure. Stop moving like you need permission. Start acting like you're already there. Because the subconscious can't tell the difference between reality and vividly imagined belief. It only knows dominance. And if you dominate it, it will dominate the world for you. Most of you want your dreams handed to you because you've never been taught how to build them with your mind. You wait for motivation. You wait to feel ready. You wait for some magical spark that never arrives. Let me tell you something you don't want to hear. The most dangerous man is the one who moves without needing to feel good. He acts out of programming, not mood. He acts because the identity in his mind is so deeply rooted that action becomes automatic. That's manifestation. It's when you train your mind so ruthlessly that your body becomes a slave to the image you've installed in your head. I don't wake up and debate whether I'll dominate. I've already decided. I don't need permission from my environment. I don't need applause. I don't need good vibes or peace and love. I need clarity. I need identity. And I've burned it into my brain like a brand. So when life hits me, when chaos rises, I don't flinch. I execute because I'm not reacting. I'm running code. A code I wrote with intention, with precision. That's how you manifest. You build the code, you run it daily, and eventually the world rewrites itself around you. You want a better life? Program for it. You want a new body? Program for it. You want peace, respect, status, love, purpose? Then carve those words into your mental software so deeply that no noise from the outside world can override it. People will try to infect your mind. They'll call you arrogant, delusional, obsessed. Let them talk. You stay locked in. You stay focused. Because the only voice that matters is the one you hear when you're alone. If that voice doesn't speak power into your bones, then nothing you build will last. You have to remember something. Your mind is always listening. When you complain, it believes you. When you speak weakness, it adjusts your identity accordingly. And when you lie to yourself about trying your best, it lowers the bar until mediocrity feels comfortable. That's not a mind, that's a traitor. So fix it, rewire it. Every word, every thought, every command must be rooted in the future you're building. You don't need evidence yet, you just need alignment. Total, unwavering alignment between who you say you are and how you act every single day. This is not about fake confidence. This is about ownership. You own the images in your head. You own the story you tell yourself. You own the words you say when no one is watching. And the man who takes ownership of those things owns his future. It's only a matter of time before the universe falls in line. That's the truth. That's the law. The mind is the gatekeeper. And when you seize control of it with conviction, with clarity, with relentless repetition, the world begins to change. Not slowly, not maybe, but inevitably. So reprogram the code, rewire the signal, restructure the inner dialogue. Because if you don't, someone else will do it for you. Society, media, parents, teachers, weak friends. They'll hijack your mind with their smallness, and you'll wake up one day wondering why you're stuck living someone else's reality. Don't let it happen. Manifestation starts with mental authority. And you don't get that by being soft. You get it by declaring who you are, becoming it internally, and forcing reality to follow. You want to become what you want? Then speak like it. Think like it, move like it, and program your mind to never forget it. Manifestation isn't about magic, it's about mental sovereignty. Win that war, and the rest is already yours. There comes a moment when you stop talking, stop planning, stop overthinking, and face the mirror. And in that mirror, there are only two versions of you. The one who became, and the one who never did. No excuses, no delays, no maybe next year's. Only two outcomes. That's the real manifestation test. It's not how many books you read or how many quotes you post. It's whether you had the discipline and belief to become what you envisioned or whether you let life talk you out of it. This is the final war, you versus who you could have been. If you lose that war, no one's gonna save you. Too many of you want results without the transformation. You want the reward without the rebirth. You look at the future like it's something that might arrive if you're lucky, but you don't understand it's already here, it's inside you. And it's screaming to come out. You wanna be rich? Be the kind of man a rich life wants to belong to. You want power, then radiate presence, control, decisiveness now, not later. When you want to be respected, stop asking for it and start demanding it. Through every choice, every movement, every ounce of your energy. The life you want is waiting for you to deserve it. You don't deserve it by wishing. You deserve it by becoming. You're not going to get what you dream about. You're going to get what you relentlessly embody. That's the truth people avoid because it requires sacrifice. It requires intensity. It requires a level of responsibility most men aren't ready for. But I'll say it clearly, if you're not willing to become him, don't expect to live like him. You want the mansion, the legacy, the freedom, but you still move like someone who's negotiating with life. You're still looking for shortcuts, still chasing comfort, still running from the discipline that would actually set you free. Manifestation doesn't bend to the lazy, it bows to the certain. It serves the obsessed. It rewards those who walk with the energy of someone who's already conquered their future, long before the world sees it. And yes, it will be lonely. Yes, you'll lose people, you'll lose approval, you'll lose comfort, but in that loss, you'll find yourself. You'll discover a level of mental strength most men never even touch. And that version of you, the one who was forged in solitude, sharpened by pain, driven by vision, that version becomes unstoppable. He doesn't manifest by waiting. He manifests by building his future in silence and then stepping into it without hesitation. He doesn't ask, is it possible? He states, it's already done. Stop thinking manifestation is about hoping. It's about alignment. You align your actions, thoughts, emotions, and speech with the man you choose to become. And you do it every single day until the world becomes so confused it starts treating you like the winner you already feel like. You want the secret? Here's the secret. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. So if you're not getting what you want, ask yourself honestly, who are you right now? Are you the man who talks or the man who lives it? Because the world only responds to the latter. You've heard people say, fake it till you make it. That's not it. You don't fake anything. You train your identity until it's real. You carve it into your subconscious with thought, repetition, discipline, and belief until it becomes the core of your existence, until you can't wake up and act like anything else. And when you live like that, when your inner world is so vividly constructed, so clear, so deliberate, your outer world has no option but to fall in line. I've said it before, I've already lived my future. I've walked through it in my head 1,000 times. And because I've already seen it, I don't fear it. I don't doubt it. I act like it's old news. That's the power of manifestation. When done right, it feels like memory, not hope. When you manifest from belief, not desperation, your energy speaks before you do. Your presence enters the room before your body does. That's how people who manifest at a high level move. They don't need to prove it, they are it. And now it's your turn. Right now is the moment. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. You either step into the version of you that already owns the life you want, or you die slowly in the prison of who you were told to be. You can either build your dream or be buried by regret, and regret is the worst thing a man can carry. It doesn't fade, it haunts, it whispers to you when you're alone, it reminds you of who you could have been if you just had the balls to become it. So decide right now, become the man who manifests what he wants. Not by chance, not by begging, but by programming his mind, building his belief, and walking with a level of certainty that makes the world nervous. Become the man whose inner world is so real, so powerful, so detailed that the outer world collapses under its gravity and reshapes itself to match. This is your moment, right now. Not in your next life, not in some distant future, now. Manifestation isn't something that happens to you, it's something that erupts from you. So become exactly what you see, and don't stop until it becomes exactly what you live.